Okie dokie. Well, this was my fourth World Changers, and I will say it was definitely my favorite. This was an amazing trip. It was an amazing group of kids that we had on the trip. It was the biggest group we've taken so far. We had 36 go with us this year between us and New Georgia, and it was just a phenomenal week. Just the movement of the Spirit this week was just astonishing to see. Next slide, Phil. So you can see here, usually when we go to a World Changers trip, it's like 300 people. There's usually like 200 kids. And so I got the word the week before we left that there was going to be about 80 at this one. And I was like, uh-oh. I was like, do I tell the kids this? Because they're going to be a little disappointed, and they were a little disappointed at first. But if you go to the next slide, you can see we were half the group. But I do think one of the nice things about this trip was, even though you didn't have a breadth of kids you were hanging out with, you had depth with those you did. And I saw that in the way that our kids our young men and young women interacted with everyone around them. Our youth, I think, were the devotion leaders on every site at the trip this year. I saw them encouraging those around them and being engaged with their crew chiefs. They're on the crews with the other students there. It was really a phenomenal week. Go ahead. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and let them speak for themselves. So I'm going to bring them up a crew at a time. Each of the crews had a funny little name that World Changers gives them. So the first crew we're going to bring up are the handsaws. So if I can get our handsaw crew up here.
I'm not the only one here. Okay, who wants to go first?
I think you do.
Okay. You just want me to say whatever?
Yeah, you guys go ahead.
Okay, so I just want to say how I saw my crew, I saw God work through our crew, completely. I mean, God brought out the best in us, along with our group encouragers and just our group leaders. All these guys did an amazing job. I gotta admit that. But I just saw how God was pushing us through and kept us with having a good attitude throughout the whole thing, even when times might be hard and we got rained on. We still enjoyed it. But yeah, God definitely made us better and better Christians in general. But yeah.
This was probably one of the more fun World Changers that I've been on. Yeah. Yeah. Even through the rain, we still found ways to keep ourselves up. Even the rain helped us when we were digging the holes. So I'm very grateful for all that God's done. Yeah.
Alright, this is my second World Changers. The first one I went on was really big, so this was a change. We had a lot of fun in our group with all the people I met and stuff, and yeah.
I wrote this down. I said this World Changers was crazy. I wasn't able to do much because I just got out of knee surgery, so I wasn't able to lift anything heavy. I wasn't able to bend down on the ground to drill in screws or anything. And so I think God really taught me patience this World Changers, because I like to think to myself all the time, I can do it. I don't really need your help. I can do a lot of things by myself. And it's true for the most part, but I wasn't able to do anything this World Changers. So God definitely taught me patience, and the crew was very loving and encouraging, but they were also very harsh on me about not doing anything. And they wouldn't even let me pick up boards. So I was a little annoyed at sometimes, but it was overall good. I think my favorite part of this World Changes was Wednesday. It was crazy. I had whole Wednesday planned out. I was gonna sit down and watch everybody at the jumping trampolines because I couldn't jump, so I was just gonna watch them the whole time. But then we went to get ice cream, And then I guess we just all decided to buzz our heads, and so all my hair's in Tennessee right now. But yeah, it was really fun, and I want to specifically thank the older guys, Avery, Jordan, and Zach. Avery, I got to do a devotion with on like our last day, and it was after something that had happened the night before, and so that was really helpful. Just being able to read with him and just having that quiet time before, going out to work and everything. And then Jordan, actually, when it happened, he was there and he talked with me about it when I was like breaking down. And so it was very much help for him. And then Zach, he led our worship, and it just always, his worship and like just the way he does it, it just always makes me feel closer to God when he does it. And so that was super helpful every night, feeling reconnected to God after our work. So.
All right, next up are the Lumber Rumblers. No, you go first.
Okay.
I got a picture.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. This is my fourth World Changers. Definitely the smallest one I've been on, but definitely my favorite. It was a little different. The house we worked at, there was nothing around for like 5 miles. So usually like, you go on prayer walks and stuff like that, but we didn't do that this time. But I did appreciate a lot of the people in my group were definitely older, like around our age. And so I had a lot of great talks with everyone and got to get really close to everyone and be able to talk about God. And we were able to have worship on our work site before lunch because Zach had his guitar and he led the worship. And something I really appreciated this year was when we come together at night for church devotionals, we would have kids actually help with worship. I thought that was really cool. But overall, I enjoyed this World Changers a lot.
So this is my first World Changers, and everyone's complaining about how small it was, but I enjoyed it. I mean, I can't imagine it being any bigger because, I mean, it just seemed like everyone knew each other in the hallway. When you passed someone, they'd say hi to you. But on my work site, we had an older crew, obviously, but, I mean, no one complained, There wasn't anyone complaining when we were getting rained on. It was raining while we were working, but no one cared. We were soaked. But I'm just very grateful for how great of a crew we had.
All right, Phil, can you switch to the image? So the guy there in the middle, you see him? That's Carl. So what was the church that we were at? Do you remember? Caney Fork Baptist Church. So Carl was a member of that church. And so one day we were doing our devotion at their church because they were feeding us there. And during the thing, Carl was like, he started talking about phones because Carl's in his 70s. He was like, these youths with their phones, they're always on them, But then one time I didn't have my phone for a week, and about the third day I realized, oh my gosh, I'm just as bad as the youth. And I immediately loved Carl. I love him so much. So I had all these long conversations with him, and he told me that 4 or 5 years ago his son died because he got on anesthesia and it killed his brain. Sorry, anesthesia, how do you say it? And that same day, unrelated, Carl had an aneurysm, and it completely immobilized him. He couldn't move, he couldn't do anything. So they found it eventually. He recovered, and all he does now is, he was like, my mission is to help young people. Like it's not, for me to be here and talk about myself or focus on myself for all the issues I've had. Like I need to help y'all and help the youth at my church. And I'd say that was the biggest thing. Like being strengthened in the faith was by far the biggest thing. Obviously with Carl, because Carl's super sick. I can't believe he's 70. Anyways, but these guys as well, because we got to spend every day together. We were in the same crew, so it might be a little selfish for everyone else, all the young men being together, but it was very awesome. It was a great time for us to be together and strengthen each other's faith, and it was amazing. It was my first time, and I loved it. So.
All right, Nailheads, come on up.
Hi. This was my third World Changers and my third time being a devotion leader. And this was my favorite time doing it by far, mainly because my crew. I had the most amazing crew. They were so receptive to everything I had to say during devotions and responsive. And after the week ended and we went home, one of the kids on my crew messaged me and he said, can you continue doing devotions with us, through a group chat or through phone calls? So that was really sweet and really touching. And then also I got to be on a crew with Alora and Emma. And they're like my baby sisters. I loved being on a crew with them so much, and I loved watching them. So proud of Emma. She led prayer walks, and you would have thought she was like a 7-foot tall man. The confidence she walked up to the doors with, she showed no fear at all. I was scared. I get anxious on the prayer walks. She had zero fear, and she was willing to talk to anyone. And Laura was probably the hardest worker on our crew, and it was just such a blessing to my heart to get to work with them and everyone else on our crew, and to get to lead devotions, and then to also get to do devotion leader meetings with all the other devotion leaders. Overall, it was just so many great people that I got to be with and to grow with. So I really liked that.
Hi. This is only my second mission trip, but I definitely liked it a lot more than my first year. Even with everything being so small, our crew was a lot more like friends working together rather than like people you just had to work with, like coworkers or teammates, and it made me really happy. And ever since the mission trip, I've been a lot stronger in my faith, and I've been like having the urge to read my Bible more instead of picking up my phone or something like that, and it's been really nice, and I've just loved my crew so much.
Well, this was my first World Changers trip, and it's definitely like very memorable. I've been to a lot of summer camps, and this one is just like, it's top tier. Like everyone's just so nice. Along with what Alora said, everyone on the crew was just so kind, and it really just like, we got through it so fast because everyone just had great motivation and great attitude. We just genuinely, like everyone just like became friends. Like we just felt like one big friend group doing this all together. But yeah, I definitely feel like a lot closer to God. Like this was like, it was, you know, the work was hard, but it was like, it felt so much easier knowing that we were doing it for other people in need. And prayer walks were definitely a big highlight, and I did step up and volunteer to be the crew reporter, so I did go on like every prayer walk with my crew, and I felt like that definitely helped me grow with my relationship in God, and it helped me with my confidence to talk with other people. But yeah.
All right, the saw teeth are up. The saw teeth.
Hi. Something I love about the mission trip is no year is exactly like the last. You don't know what you're going to be doing, and you don't know the people you're going to meet. But one thing that each mission trip has in common, we're all coming together for a common reason, and it's to praise God. And it's very evident in the way these people treat you and the work they do. And it's just always an awesome time.
This is my fourth mission trip. Definitely the smallest one. Our crew built the biggest wheelchair ramp. It was 32 feet. Besides us and then the people from New Georgia, we were all with the Louisiana kids. So it was like a small group of just 2 churches. The first part of the first couple days was kind of hard and annoying because we only had it was weird because we built the biggest ramp, yet we had like hardly any supplies. So there was only like 3 or 4 people doing the work, and then the rest were kind of just sitting there looking for things to do. But it was fun at the end whenever we finally got to like putting the ramps, like the boards down, and it was easy. So.
Hi, this was my first World Changers, and it was really fun. I really enjoyed it. Although, as she said, we didn't have a lot of supplies for the wheelchair ramp. We don't even know if the woman who we were building it for is actually going to live there. But I do think that the reason the Lord wanted us to be there is because of the little girl who lived across the street. She was about 7 years old. Her name was Skylar, and she'd come over every day, and we were able to spread the word with her and talk to her, and she'd just hang out with us all day. And so I'm really praying, I've been praying for her that, you know, as she sees the wheelchair ramp every day outside her house, that she'll remember us and remember the gospel. And yeah, that's fun.
All right, next up.
Hello,
Oh,
everyone.
we got one more, sorry.
My name is Corbin.
Can you back
Coco.
up a sec?
I went on.
Corbin couldn't be with us today, but he did send us a little video, so.
Hello, everyone. My name is Corbin Coca. I went on World Changers this year. I was on a crew called Sawteeth with Sophia, Reagan, and Mackenzie. We had a great time. It was very fruitful. Personally, when I do this, I think I've only ever done it up on stage. I like to kind of take out a specific part of the trip that stuck out to me, or boost the experience, or made the trip more fruitful, and let everyone else touch on the bigger things. So something I picked out that I've actually talked about a couple times. Everyone that went on the mission trip has probably heard me talk about it. I've talked about it a couple times. It was what our crew leader, Mr. Steve, it's a concept he introduced us to. He called quiet time. And quiet time was basically tell all of the kids on his crew to go sit down before they started work for 10 minutes just to pray, maybe read their Bible, or just be in their thoughts. I saw kids doing all three of them. And it was really wonderful. I'll admit, I was on the anxious side for this trip. Not sure what it was. I just had some anxieties going into this trip. And those 10 minutes were just so helpful. Every day we got up for work, I'd go in a little anxious. Those 10 minutes, when they ended, all of those anxieties were gone. And you know, I thought it was wonderful. Yeah, it was a smaller thing. It probably only took an hour of my time out of the 7 days that we were there, 7 days or so. But it really did boost the experience a ton, and I'm sure the other kids on my crew would say a similar thing.
Okay, next we've got the Wrecking Crew. Let's go and play Hit Next real quick. We have a little video Rowan.
Hey everyone, Rowan Johnston here. I was on the Wrecking Crew with Pastor Bill and Miss Bonnie and the youth, Kane, Elam, Lily at our church, and Michaela at New Georgia. And I'm going to keep it short and talk about our homeowner, specifically Mr. Bill. He had stage 4 cancer, and he was wheelchair bound, and it was really an inspiration to see him get out and help us pull decking out of the ground with his 4x4. And you know, seeing him out there, being out and working with us and talking to us, it's a new experience that I haven't had on any other World Changer, and it was really an inspiration. And also Kane, seeing how hard Kane was working and pushing through his cancer, it's really a huge inspiration to me. And thank you. This is my favorite World Changers.
All right, hey, come up, Wrecking Crew.
Well, my favorite part of this World Changers, which is my first one, was the homeowners. They were very sweet. They even bought us some pizza one day. And on Wednesday, we got to go to a jumping place, an arcade, and it was fun. And I got to drill a lot of boards in and take apart a deck.
So I'd like to talk about Mr. Bill, just like Rowan did. It was crazy that I got to be on that work site with the only guy that had cancer, and then I'm there with him. And I was able to talk to him a lot, and we had fruitful conversations, and it was amazing, and it was really inspiring to me how he stayed true to God, and he had his faith through all of this. And he stopped fighting cancer, and so he's lived past the date that they said he was going to live to, and he's a miracle. And it was amazing being able to talk with him and see how strong his faith was in the Lord. And I'd like to talk about his mom as well. Miss Karen spent her life taking care of people. She's taking care of her husband, she's taking care of her son, she's taking care of many other people. but hasn't had much time to take care of herself. And she has a servant's heart. She's always looking for somebody to serve. And so it was amazing to be able to see that through her and see how God's working in their lives. And I'd like to thank Pastor Bill for staying so calm. We had a little confusion with how we were supposed to build the deck, and I got pretty mad, and my crew got pretty mad, but Pastor Bill was able to just always have a smile on his face. And that was so uplifting. And I asked him, I said, how do you stay so calm? He said, it's because I got Jesus in my heart. And so that was awesome. And I've learned a lot from him.
This was my fourth World Changers. This year was almost definitely my favorite year. I couldn't, none of the other years could compare to it. Our homeowners were amazing. They were so sweet. We also had a guy from the church that was feeding us. His name was Mr. Charlie. He wasn't supposed to technically, but he came out there and worked with us almost every single day, and he helped us so much. He helped us cut wood. He helped us do like everything he could, even though he was an older gentleman. He was 70s, 60s, 50s. My bad, guys. My bad. But he was amazing. He was really helpful. His wife made some very good food for us. But I wanted to pick out a couple of interesting things that happened on the trip. First of all, we had a blackout at the school while we were, half of us were in the gym, half of us were like other places, and all of a sudden the power just drops, and there's just a raging storm outside, and it was so impressive. Corbett, who is injured, there was a door dropping that was about to close off the gym, and he caught it and he pulled it back up, and a bunch of the other guys rushed and they helped up hold the door, and a bunch of people rushed out, and then like after like 15 to 20 minutes of a bunch of confusion and crying, we ended up, like, all of the people from World Changers gathered in the cafeteria, and we all started singing praises to God. And Avery and Zach got their instruments out, and we passed out our sheets of lyrics of songs and stuff. And we sang probably like 5 songs, 6 songs. We sang a lot, and like in the middle of one of the songs, the power came right back on, and it was really inspiring. It was amazing. It was just awesome to see how God worked on this trip, and yeah, I had an amazing time.
So I could say all kinds of things about what they said, but it's something that the gentleman, Charlie, from the church that was serving us food, said to the homeowner. Charlie on top of the... Yeah, that's him up on top of the 4x4. Like I said, he had asked if he could help us. He wasn't planning on helping. He just decided that he wanted to. Their only role was to bring us food every day, but he decided he wanted to help. And then she would bring us food, and they would stay for devotion, and they shared about their lives. And she cried with the kids and told them about the struggles she's had. But the last day, after we had all left, the homeowner said that, Charlie came up to her and he said, I want to thank you, because when he started the week, he wanted to do it for him kind of thing, like he wanted to participate. And he told her, he said, thank you for letting me take me out of me. For letting me be a part of this and take myself out of myself, and humble myself and be a part of this. So I thought that was awesome.
All right. I'll talk at the end. All right. Next, the Stone Rollers. You're up.
This was my first World Changers, and everybody was talking about how it was small, but I think it was really great because it was small, because I think everybody at least has one friend from another church and state from World Changers, but I feel like I've gotten closer with a bunch of other people from the church especially, so it's really amazing.
Hey guys, what's up? It's this was my 4th World Changers, and I was really blessed. I got to be put on a site with Pastor Jody's family and like my best friends, so that was really awesome. Like everybody else has been saying, it was like way smaller, and I was kind of really upset whenever I found that out. Like, I thought that was gonna be lame, but it was actually really fun because I learned like almost everybody's names. I made a lot of friends, and on our site, we had to make like cornhole things, and we all signed our names on the bottom of one of them, and then they cut out my name, like nobody else's name, just my name, but everybody signed it, and so now I have like my own little thing from everybody. But it was awesome, and the blackout, kind of scary, but it was really fun once we all started singing, and it was awesome. I think this has been like the best mission trip I've ever been on, and also like just the way we saw the Spirit moving in everybody. Like, we went on prayer walks, and we met this one guy, and his name was Mr. Delmore, and he had, like, stage 4 cancer in his brain, but he was just, like, such a nice dude, and we came back the day after his first treatment, and we prayed with him, and that was really awesome, and yeah.
So this is our first, and we had the whole family, which was amazing. This is really scary, guys. I don't know how you do this. But thank you. But I will say, you know, the best parts, I think, for me were just watching the kids. I mean, they are so amazing. And the ones that, I will say, Genevieve and Charlie did the devotions every day, and just watching them and how they did the devotions, and just so lovingly, and Jody always stepped in. It was awesome. But and then the testimonies from these kids. I mean, these kids were, you know, giving testimonies that it started at 8 and 9 that were just so sad. But they gave them, and they know that God is in control of all of it, and it was amazing. And then the food was really good. It was small, but these women came in and just loved on us. We worked for a church, and the pastor and his wife kind of got to talk to them, and that was nice. Other than that, I'm not going to say much more. I enjoyed it, and like I said, it was small. I don't think I could have done a big one, so thank you, Lord, for blessing us with a smaller one.
You want to say something? Go ahead, baby.
This was my first year, and I was a crew encourager, so that had some responsibilities, but my crew made it really easy. I think one of my favorite parts is, like, for those who don't know, I'm away at school, so I don't get to see the kids a lot. And so I feel like the relationships that I was able to form, mostly with the girls, like sleeping with them every night, like hanging out with them, just was really, really great. And then another one of my favorite memories is Dad was our bus driver. And there was one time we were driving, and we were trying to mess with the AC. We were trying to mess with the AC.
Who was trying to mess with the AC?
Mom was trying to mess with the AC. And
on the bus, trying to drive.
And then all of a sudden we hear this beeping noise, and we had a guy in our crew, Jeremiah, who's very like even keel. And all of a sudden he's like, "Guys, is that back door supposed to be open?" And we all critically turned around, and the door to the bus was open, and Dad calmly pulled over, but we died laughing about it for a while. So.
I had a lot of fun, and I was devotion leaders with Genevieve on our site, and it was just kind of amazing to me seeing all these kids open up to us, and it was a lot. I had fun, and I was expecting a lot of the kids to hate the games that we had for them because they're teenagers who wants to play it after they work so hard in the sun. But surprisingly, a lot of them interacted with our games, and we got a lot of compliments on the analogies that we were using with our games. And it was just really fun to meet everybody.
Yeah, and as you saw in the picture, everybody from New Georgia says hello, by the way. They said hello this morning. On the picture there, too, we are now taking orders for cornhole. It will go to Raise for Missions next year if you want, and just to let Bailey know what you want, colors and so forth. I do just want to point out on the pictures, it was this was a cool cooperation, as in, number one, the pastor's name there was Pastor Buddy. You can't have a cooler name than that. It's Pastor Buddy. He, too, was old, 58. Let me see it, too. I'm 56, Elam. What do you think about that? Okay, yeah. So, me and Leah are right there, neck and neck. By the way, someone has a birthday next week. Just want to point out. So, okay. Anyways, so Pastor Buddy, this was a replant. They had a bigger church in the town. They're kind of like a Westridge style church. And Pastor Buddy, they went to this old dying church, maybe had 20 people in it. And Pastor Buddy was able to replant this old church. Really cool build. I like 1970s, 60s kind of structured culture. They had redone the thing, so we were able to help them out, just provide some free labor for them, and just kind of help promote them and what they're doing in that neighborhood. So it was great to see this replant kind of surface and come to life. And we probably were the luckiest group, as in saying we had an air-conditioned room to eat in every day, and they fed us really well, too. So, but we had a lot of fun, though. It was good. So.
Thank you, guys. Don't rollers. All right. So, several of the kids mentioned this. I wanted to show you what it looked like. So what's up on the screen is when the power went out. So over on the left, the top of that is the doors. So doors shut off different sections. So all the kids were trapped in one area and all the adults were trapped in the other. So I had a little panic attack, but it passed. And the kids literally lifted those doors up. And over to the right's the cafeteria where we gathered. If you go to the next slide. And never really experienced anything like this. It was pretty amazing. All of World Changers sitting in a cafeteria in the dark, singing songs of praise. Our kids went and grabbed their guitars and the song sheets and handed them out. And it was a beautiful, beautiful moment. And leading up to this, in our youth group, we've been going through the one another's in the Bible, because it's important as Christians, we go out and we serve, but it's also important to look at how we treat one another. We are to love one another, right? We're to encourage one another. We're to embolden one another, right? The Bible calls us Christians. If people can't see us by our love for one another, right, then we are not showing the gospel to the world. And I got to see this on this trip. I got to see these kids who I love so much show that love for one another, and it was beautiful to see that acted out. What did you not hear today? What you didn't hear was, the work was so hard. I hated it. You didn't hear that. These kids came back every day from their job sites and these were hard. I think I had heat exhaustion. It was so hot. And obviously, if you haven't seen my beautiful watch stand, that's from 1 week at World Changers, right? It was very hot. And these were big jobs. You know, on my job site, we were replacing a 24 by 12-foot deck. It was huge, massive. Every day they came back encouraged and enjoyed, and I did not hear them complaining. What I did hear complaints was what they didn't have work to do, right? There wasn't enough for us to do on our job site today. That's when I heard complaints. That's very encouraging to me as their pastor. Hope it's also encouraging for you as their parents and their families to know these kids came to work, and they worked, right? But the stories you heard today was how they enjoyed fellowship and togetherness and all those one another's that we've been talking about. Next slide. And then on the last day, I think Jacob came up to me Thursday night and said, Pastor Bill, it doesn't seem right if we would leave and not sing one more song. And so Thursday or Friday morning when we got ready to board the bus, they grabbed their guitars again, and we had another church join us as well as a couple others who were still there, and we got to close out singing songs of praise before we boarded the buses to head back. It was just a joyful time. For me as a pastor, this was like, I don't know if I can get any better than this. You guys got to top this next year. That's all I'm saying. Last slide. And I would be remiss if I didn't show the haircuts. This is it. This is the moment. I was standing, we took these kids to get ice cream. I'm standing outside the ice cream parlor. At the corner of my eye, I see Micah run into this little boutique shop. And I'm thinking it's just a little shop, right? It looked like a normal women's boutique. Suddenly, I think maybe it was Alora, comes running out and says, they're shaving their heads! I was like, what? I walk in, and the first thing I see is Eli, and I look over behind him, and there's Corbett, sure enough. All those locks, as he said, left in Tennessee. But I really think we made those people's day at that shop. They were joyful just to see a joyful group of Christians in there having a good time and enjoying being with one another. It was quite the experience. So, but thank you all for bearing with us. I know this is, when we do this every year, it's long. We want to talk about where we've been. But I also, one of my favorite things about taking these kids on mission and as they go out in life, right? I know for myself, I come back and I tackle things at work, and I think to myself, I built a 12 by 24 deck in a week with a group of teenagers and one 76-year-old man. Right? If a group of Christians can come over and do that, we can do anything. The other thing that encourages me when we do these events is knowing that across the globe, at that very moment, there are Christians everywhere doing similar things, right? Serving their communities, digging wells, building bridges, right? Both figuratively and literally, right? Building bridges. And it should be an encouragement to us when we're on mission to know that we are part of the body global, right? We are being world changers. Set you guys up for that, come on. So each year I always read this verse as we go through our training heading into this, which is Matthew 9, starting verse 35. And Jesus went throughout the cities and villages, teaching in their synagogues and proclaiming the gospel of the kingdom and healing every disease and every affliction. And when he saw the crowds, he had compassion for them because they were harassed and helpless like sheep without a shepherd. And then he said to his disciples, "The harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few. Therefore pray earnestly to the Lord of the harvest, send out the laborers into his harvest." And he did that at World Changers, and he continues to do that each and every day. Each and every day he is sending the laborers out. So let's be grateful for a Savior who loves us so much that he calls us to service. And with that, we're going to close out with a song. Who wants to lead us?
Oh, I will.
All right.
I don't know it. Wait. What song? The World Changers. Okay. Are you going to play it? Do I sing it? Am I singing it? Oh, I don't know the lyrics. Okay, wait. Just you can be a okay. You can be a world changer, shining the light for those in danger, sharing the love of our Lord and Savior. You can change the world. Go out and change the world.
All right, thank you, World Changers. Now we can eat. So if you guys will help get tables set up, the ladies have been getting food set up. Thank you all for